what's good, guys? So today I'm going to be ranking every single domain expansion in Jujutsu Infinite. Now let's not waste too much time. But before that, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to be giving away a domain shard. So all I need you guys to do is to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I need you guys to please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subs by the end of April. So I need you guys to subscribe. And then I'm going to be giving away a domain shard once I hit 500 subscribers. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. Okay, the first domain we have is Dagon's domain. Horizon of the Captivating Shakanda? Shakahanda? Anyways, I think that's how you pronounce it. This domain doesn't really have much going for it. It's just made. You just get a stats boost. The regular stats boost you get when you're in a domain. Also, their swarm is improved inside the domain. I'll just give it a D. It's a solid D tier. It's just mid. And it's not really worth getting unless you're a huge fan of Dagon. So the next domain we have is Idle Death Gamble. This is Hakari's domain. It's an okay domain. What really carries it is it doesn't have a domain bar. It just has a cooldown, meaning you can use it as much as you want. And then obviously you have the fever meter that once it reaches full, you enter jackpot and you're essentially immortal basically until it runs out. I will honestly put this at A tier, mainly because it's a PvP domain. But there's one good thing it does for PvE is you can put bosses into a domain quickly, so that when they reach half health, they can't use their own domain. So like that's really a side plus, but solid A tier, Now the next domain we have is Utah's domain called Unequivocal Love. This domain isn't really that good per se. It's decent. It can be good for both PvP and PvE. To be honest, it's just the right balance of both. So how this domain works is when you grab a katana, you copy other techniques and get their moves, but you can't get their maximums. You can only get their moves. You can't get their maximums or domains. It's also RNG, meaning that it's log based, so you can either get a good move or sometimes you can get a move you don't know how to use or you don't like. So for that case, I'll place it at A tier. Solid, nothing really crazy that makes it broken, and it doesn't really guarantee you win. So the next domain we have is Threefold Affliction. You get your regular stats boost inside the domain, and then your mental dash changes from 3 dashes to 5 when you're inside the domain. Also, your maximum truth sphere becomes 5 uses instead of the regular 3. I'll give this domain a high B tier. Its maximum carries it, but this is a domain video. It's good for PvP and PvE, but that's about it. It's nothing really special. The maximum carries. The next one we have is Coffin of the Iron Mountain. This domain is just so made. I can't even stretch it. It's just actually made. There's nothing really special about it. You get your regular stats boost. Some move changes in the domain. It makes them bigger, have more AoE, more burn damage. I'll give it a high D tier. It's a better hydrokinesis domain, but its maximum once again carries this domain because anywhere you're in the domain, you instantly get touched. So yeah, but this is a domain video, so the maximum doesn't help. Now on to the next one called Raijin. This is a concept domain for Kashimo. Now for it being a special grade domain, it's kind of boring and underwhelming to be honest, but you can't really complain because it's just a concept. So anyways, you get your regular stats buffs and enemies inside the domain get their block bar damaged automatically. So yeah, no moves in the domain change their functionality. Nothing special. I'll give it a B tier. If you're a fan of Kashimo and you wish they had a domain, then go for it. There's nothing really making this domain special. Next one is another concept domain. I personally like this one. It's one of the better concept domains. It's called Celestial Opera. It's made for Yuki Star Rage. Amazing for PvP. It slows your enemy's movement and it boosts your durability, I think. Yeah, it boosts your durability. And you get permanent mass meter during the duration of the domain. Very solid. I'll give it a A tier for sure. Your moves do more damage and some of your moves look different, and I believe it changes their functionality as well. Overall, good for PvP, good for PvE, and in my opinion, one of the better concept domains. Next one on the list is Self-embodiment of Perfection. This is Mahito's domain. Very decent for PvP, and that's because of honestly one move. Your soul touch changes inside the domain because it has a guaranteed hit effect, and obviously it does more damage. But you have to stack a lot of those transfiguration blobs on your opponents. Yeah, that's the only part, like the only thing you need to do. Just stack a bunch of those blobs on them, and then your soul touch will do crazy damage in the domain.
a solid A tier for PvP is good. For PvP, I'm sorry, for PvE is okay, but the short hit doesn't work on raid bosses like Sukuna or Toji. So yeah, that's the only reason why it's A tier.
The next domain on our list again is another concept domain for Hanami. I know, like, there's a lot of concept domains. This one is called Blooming Ocean of Flowers. Inside the domain, your enemies have a 50% longer cooldown. Yes, I said 50. This domain is absolutely busted for PvP, but you need skill to take advantage of this effect. Also, Hex Seed changes to like a Dragon Ball beam attack, which is really cool. Also, Field of Tranquility 2 also changes inside the domain. It's a well-deserving A tier. Would be S, but it takes skill to use the domain to its fullest. So yeah. The next domain is called Deadly Sentencing. This is one of my favorite domains actually, and this recently just got a rework which makes it better. Now inside the domain, NPCs are always guilty and they get the death penalty. So only real players have the option to play the mini game, that rock paper scissors game to defend themselves. If you win the mini game, you get the executioner sword, which does a ton of damage. So if you don't win, your opponent still gets their technique confiscated. A very well deserving A tier. It would be higher, but it's luck based to get the sword. So if it wasn't luck based, this would instantly be A tier because it does a ton of damage. So it's broken for PvP and PvE, but you just need to get the sword. Next one on the list, we have the king of curses himself, Malevolent Shrine. PvP, PvE is just OP. I didn't mean to rhyme. You get constantly slashed if they block inside the domain. Their domain bar just melts, sorry, their block bar just melts, and you put overwhelming pressure on them. And I don't know if it's only me, but when you're inside the domain, you just make dumb mistakes, mainly due to the constant pressure, and your screen is kind of distorted. Anyways, this is an easy S tier, no denying it. Constant damage, pressure on your opponents, and it's good for both bosses, raids, and PvP. The next one we have is the honored one, Gojo Satoru. Let's not even waste too much time. This domain is absolutely broken. You stun your opponent and you have enough time to land the hollow purple or any maximum. Easy S tier, good for both PvP and PvE. This is what I use personally for both of them. So yeah, overall, just a great pick. The next one on our list is called Hometown Memories. Now this domain is actually quite special. It's Yuji's domain. Inside the domain, every 10 seconds you get a skill check, and if you fail, you get damage and also you get stunned. You also get your soul star meter passively. I'll give it a very, very, very solid S tier. The domain is absolutely busted. The passive damage alone does a ton of damage. You get stunned, and also end the cycle automatically executes your enemy at 30% HP while inside the domain. Last but not the least, this is the misogynistic Nayoa Zenin. His domain is called Time Cell Moon Palace. This is genuinely the most broken domain in the game. There's no doubt about it. And then the fact that it's only a legendary makes it even more interesting. Anyways, the way the domain works is the eye at the center. Once it opens, you can't move or you get stunned. You can't attack, you can't block, or even use your skill. You get turned into a frame. This is easily the best domain in the game. Instant S tier. It's a guaranteed win, but the domain is mainly for PvP. It doesn't work on raid bosses, I believe, so it can't work on Sukuna, Toji, or Mahito, but it works on regular mobs, but it doesn't work on bosses. Instant S tier. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below what is your favorite domain, and don't forget to like and subscribe. As 500 subscribers, I'll be giving away a domain shard. I might add in a maximum scroll too, depending on if we reach the goal really quickly. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Take care. See you guys later.